Alright, we are back for another mod showcase here on the channel. I'm your host, The Gaming Vault, and in this episode, or I'm sorry, in this video, we are going to be checking out the Dinos Plus mod. Now, as you can see around me, we have all of these structures. These are all Dinos Plus structures. They all have some little tweak involved in them. They'll have some little change that allows them to be better suited for Ark. Now, as you can see all the way to my left here, I'm sorry, all the way to my right, your viewers left, we have the fridges. Now, the bigger fridge is the Vanilla Arc fridge. The smaller one is obviously the Dinos Plus fridge. We're going to be getting to all the individual differences and configurations here in a second, but obviously the fridges, the forge, the fabricator, the smithy, the hatchery, the nanny, and the Dinos Plus forge. We're going to be going over all these here in this video, and let's just kind of get right down to it. Now, obviously, like I've been saying with the fridges, there is a huge difference here. These fridges, the little ones, they have better spoil times, they have better storage space, and here you can see all of the basic structure description right here. 300 storage slots is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. Now, these fridges here, they only have 80. Now, normally when you're building a base in Ark, you want to have enough fridge space for your eggs, your kibble, everything else cooking-wise that you need. And sometimes 80 storage slots is obviously just not enough. Normally, at least when I play, I have 4, maybe 5 fridges if I feel the need. Um, Obviously, fridges have a wide variety of uses, and they are obviously mid to late game items, or mid to late game structures, I should say. Um, but these fridges don't nearly have enough storage space, only 80 slots. So this mod obviously just makes it a little better and a little more base friendly, so you don't have to have rows upon rows of fridges. Because normally with these 300 item slots is, like I've been saying, nothing to sneeze at. So it would just be 1 to maybe 2 of the D plus fridges compared to 4 of the regular ones. But yeah, that's the only big difference there. These fridges obviously do have an increased spoil timer, so they will prevent items from spoiling at a rate of, if my numbers are correct, I believe it is 1 point. No, I think it's twice the normal rate of the regular fridge. So, for example, some spoiled meat is in here, and it says it's going to spoil in a half an hour, and some spoiled meat is in here, and it says it's going to spoil in 60 minutes. So basically, this makes it spoil faster, while this keeps it preserved longer. And moving on, obviously this is the Dinos Plus Industrial Forge. It is, I want to say, a modicum smaller than the other one. The other one is about 4 walls high. This one looks to be about 3. Um, like I've been saying, the main difference, here you see the description, refines the resources in bulk, which is great. Instead of going one at a time, it would go, I believe it is by 20. I've used this mod before. I have played with this a little bit. So I believe they do it in bulk of 20 instead of individually. Um, like I said, it works with metal, works with gas, works with anything you need to smelt down or to cook inside of the forge. It works perfectly. And compared to the other forge, who I believe only has 75 inventory slots, this one has 300 inventory slots. So you could stack this entire thing in here with metal, with gas, with wood, anything you need, and you just got to put 1 square of gasoline. The amount of resources that could get smelt in this forge is ridiculous. It is just a great way to condense all of the work that would be doing in 1 to 2 indie forges into a singular, smaller industrial forge. With the way I play Ark, at least, I use two of these. Obviously, I could split up my resources. I could cut, or not cut, turn wood into charcoal a lot faster. Um, Smelting metal is obviously never easier. Now, I don't have to do that. I just download this mod, and I have all the space I need. Um, but I do like the fact that they decided to do this in bulk. It makes it go by so much faster, and I think it's a nice little tweak compared to what they have in vanilla. That plus the size is a lot better. The other one is about, I would say about yay tall. If I'm standing right on top of it, it's about as tall as I am right now. Um, I can't zoom out, unfortunately, but that's alright. You get the idea. But yeah, moving on. The fabricator, obviously there's really not much difference. The description, obviously, place materials among blueprints to create high-end machined items, makes sense. Increased inventory space, yes. The regular fabricator, I believe, has the same amount as the Indie Forge, which I believe is 75. So again, 75 to 300, that is a huge, huge bump. The amount of stuff you could put in here, the amount of stuff you could craft at one time is chef's kiss. I only need one fabricator to do the job of what 2 to 3 would do when I played. That's it, one. But other than that, there really is no difference. No size. There's a little size difference. They shrunk it down a little bit. I know for a fact that the vanilla fabricator is at least a little taller than this, but other than that, there is no difference. I believe they cost the same amount of resources as well, which is nice. But I've been saying, no difference. Moving on. The smithy, again, switching from, I believe it is 75 to 300. Again, beautiful. The amount of stuff you can make with this is unreal. Obviously, you would be using your smithy for trank darts, all this stuff, bullets. You would obviously be getting some basic firearms from here. Obviously, the metal tools. And I think obviously the important stuff would be the saddles. Will be all this stuff here as well. The cooking, the crafting, the defenses. But when you look at this array of saddles, you could obviously just chuck in a bunch of resources and just make whatever saddle you like. But other than the increased inventory space, there really is no difference between this one and the vanilla smithy. So we are going to keep moving on, finally, to two of the more important modded items. This will be the hatchery. Gathers fertilized eggs, excluding those at below 1% incubation. It incubates the eggs within its inventory down to 1% incubation, enhances egg output from nearby dinos, and operates seamlessly with a simple power source. So obviously this would just pick up the eggs, it would incubate them down to 1%, and then that's when you would come in, you'd take them out, and then you'd hatch them whenever you like. But again, 300 inventory slots. Huge, huge, huge. You put one of these in the middle of your dinosaur breeding enclosure, boom, you'll have eggs going into one spot all the time. I mean, as long as you have it powered, as long as it's, good, you shouldn't have a problem. You really shouldn't. It's a simple to use feature. Obviously, you could change the range about it. Obviously, it goes from 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 7. That's we set the range, and now we show it. And that's about it right there. So like I said, you put one of these in your breeding enclosure right in the middle with everything around it, you are perfect. That is absolutely the best you could do. I mean, oh yeah, that's a pretty big range. Put it, like I said, right in the middle, you're good. But I've played around with this as well before. I've had multiple structures around it. It is by far one of the best egg collectors in any mod that I've played. Uh, but like I said, you put it down, you take the eggs out whenever they're ready, and you're good. But I do like how they did it with the little Rex in the middle. I think the old version had a dodo. Um, I think a dodo would probably be a little more iconic with this. But again, I don't own the mod. I'm not any part of the mod. I'm just giving my opinion. Moving on. This would be the nanny. Now this is obviously, such a small thing. Um, okay, first and foremost, hide range. For the nanny, we are going to have a look in its inventory. Now, obviously, the nanny feeds all nearby non-adult dinos. Imprints on all nearby non-adult dinos operate seamlessly with generators or gasoline. Obviously, you just throw food in here, perfect, and it would imprint and feed all the baby dinos. Um, this way, you obviously wouldn't have to sit around for the imprinting to wait to finish up. You wouldn't have to go through the maturity and all that. You would just have to put the dinos around it and have the nanny do all the work. Super, super streamlined process if you're making, a big dinosaur breeding thing or you're looking for some certain kind of mutations. This is the thing for you. Now, obviously, you could disable the imprinting here. It could go with the food amount. There's one other setting I wanted to show. Obviously, you can change the range again. And then it comes out to the same general sphere as the hatchery does. So again, you just put this thing around all your babies and you're good. It'll feed them. It does all of it. I wish they had done a little different with the design, however, at least for this part. Because when I look at it, it just looks like some hide wrapped in, more leather. But as long as it works, I don't think anybody really has a problem with it. I know I don't. But yeah, I mean it's nothing to sneeze at. It's a huge thing that makes breeding a hell of a lot easier. Um, Now on to the final item for today, the tech generator. Obviously, powers everything wirelessly, requires element to run and tech engrams to use. Obviously, the increased inventory space is huge, and the fuel lasts longer than the vanilla version. That is where it gets you. The fuel lasts longer. So you put a 100 element in there, it'll last, I believe it is, I don't know if it's twice as long or only 1.5 times as long. Either way, I think one of those numbers is correct. You could fact check me in the comments. But either way, that is still a worthwhile boost to have. So if you have this mod installed and obviously you're looking to make a tech generator, I would most definitely go with the D plus tech generator for the simple fact that the fuel lasts longer. That's it. The inventory space is really not important with this one, at least in my opinion, because there's no way you fill up a regular tech generator full of element unless you are grinding. And then in that case, it's just becomes spare that you just put in later. But the 300 inventory slots, again, a nice thing to have, but with the tech generator, it really doesn't come into play very much. But that is it, folks. And if you guys did enjoy, be sure to let me know down in the comments. And as always, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!